ورجعنا لكم من جديد ومعنا ضيفنا لليوم الرئيس التنفيذي والشريك المؤسس لشركة دارما شرف المنصوري. Welcome to the show, Sharaf, and thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, we would like to hear a brief about the company Dharma. You guys started it in 2018, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, we started 2018 out of London. Started as quite a simple premise. We used to approach yoga teachers, a lot of them that we were practicing with, and actually pitching them to run their retreat business. So we were like, hey, you're not a professional travel agent or professional. We think you could be running, 4 or 5 times more retreats a year, regularly. So, outsource your retreat business to us, and we'll take care of everything, white label and one-stop shop. So we started in that positioning in 2018.
Nice. And of course, I'm curious to know, how was COVID with you guys? Because you're heavily focused on the travel business, right?
Yeah, look, COVID was obviously, 2 years of P&L destruction, and so that's obviously the negative. The positive was actually on 3 levels. The first one was that we were able to find people, investors, and funds that actually we would never have connected with before COVID, because we were based between London and Marrakesh, and at the time, being the founders being based out of Marrakesh was hard to pitch international investors. And then when COVID hit, actually kind of like the borders and the barriers came down, investors would never have considered an investment outside of their home country, started to look around the world. So I guess that was, and we come out of COVID with $3.5 million raised,
exactly,
from 4 continents, and from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, and from the US, with most of our investors we've actually never physically met to this day. So
wow,
for us, there was that. Then there's also the talent side of things. Which, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course I can hear you. Yeah.
There was also the talent side of things, which unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of people actually lost their jobs in the travel industry.
Yes.
And for us, that also meant that there was a lot of incredible talent and incredible resource that was on the market that we would never have been able to even touch a few months before. So we're able to build a team of 32 people now that we're so proud of and we're so grateful to work with every day.
How big is the team now?
32 people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's quite crazy.
Yeah.
And then quite crazy for someone, and for a team that was 3 people going into COVID. And then the most exciting part is really coming out of it and just the prospect of travel coming back, being much more social media driven in the sense of distribution. So which plays exactly into our business model, and really the opportunities coming out of this, where all the kind of big boys in travel and all the traditional tour operators have retreated a little bit, and so us being in this kind of new space gives us a massive opportunity to capitalize on it.
But that's amazing. You managed to get an investment during COVID. That's really good. And you mentioned something really huge, I believe, which is you've never met any of the investors. So how did you convince them with Dharma and that it's worth the investment and the money?
Yeah, good question. Well, now I've met a good most of them after now that travel is open. So,
yeah.
but when we signed the actual papers, I don't think we had actually physically not met any of them who signed with us. So how did I convince them? Well, first of all, this is 2 years of work later, so I guess this is the easy part, is to say how it is to tell the story. I think I kept track of all the calls that I made, and made more than 150 VC calls.
Wow.
Yeah, got
See,
a lot
that's
of
what
no's.
people don't know, which is what happens behind the scenes, and even before actually you get the investment.
Oh yeah, no, well, first of all, when I went into this, I had no idea what I was doing, right? The VC space was, something I thought I knew, I didn't know. And so the first call, second call, third call, I started, being asked questions about ratios that I had never even considered, and then realized that, there's a whole education for me to have. So the education I had it by getting on calls with VCs. I don't think there's another way to get it. And it's great because actually VCs are putting money into you, and usually when someone is investing or putting money into something, that's when they're fully transparent and fully honest. So
100%.
I was getting some brutal feedback on where we were on our positioning, on our narrative, on our business model, etc. So 150 VC calls later, my personal education was much, my learning curve was much steeper than university even. But so I mean, my advice to anyone who's getting onto this train is just get on calls. Like as embarrassing as the first ones will be, get on calls, understand, build your knowledge.
Do you remember the hardest question you got from a VC?
Well, a question is hard the first time.
Yeah.
And then you go back. I mean, you record it, you go back, you answer it, and then you're ready for it the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time. So, no, I remember the most the most demoralizing rejections I got.
Wow.
But I mean, questions. I think we have like a list of 60 Q&A questions that we're just so ready for now. And COVID being one of them, by the way.
Wow.
And yeah.
Interesting. And now you're based in Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah, we are. We got picked up by the Hub 71 program, which is run by Mubashara.
Exactly. Tell us more about that. How does it help, especially startups who are just starting in the region?
Yeah, I mean, look. First of all, I guess the UAE is one of the rare countries that sets an agenda 50 years in advance.
Yeah.
So for us to be in the middle of COVID and for them to still believe and back a travel tech company is really that they're not thinking short term. So I think we're very lucky to be in this ecosystem in that regard. Abu Dhabi's provided a safe harbor for us to thrive during COVID, and hopefully allowing us the time, the resources to actually build a ship we can then go conquer the world with. With regards to Hub 71, it's a 2-year program, and it's a great ecosystem. We wouldn't be where we are without them. So it also puts you in front of VCs and funds, 2 of which have actually backed us. So BY Venture Partners and Shuruq, both of them based out of Abu Dhabi as well. Although BY is originally Beirut based.
Yeah.
And
big names.
We're working in the best conditions in the world. We're living in the best conditions in the world. So I mean, at some point, it's on us to deliver.
Also, you've done multiple partnerships in a very short period of time. So can you tell us more about them?
Yeah, of course. So we have a few accounts that we're really proud of. I mean, the one that I think changed the trajectory of our business is signing Equinox, which is a luxury gym based out of New York. They have about 300,000 members, and they're one of the biggest kind of lifestyle brand in the US. So we built a travel brand for them called Equinox Explorer, which is where I met my co-founder. She was managing director at Equinox Explorer, and then came on as co-founder, moved from New York to Abu Dhabi as well as our chief experience officer. So Equinox is definitely one that has been a game changer for us in that regard. We also have Eric Cantona, which I'm a fanboy of, and who I had designed or thought of a travel brand for probably 2 or 3 years ago already. So when we were pitching it to him 6 months ago or 8 months ago, it was almost surreal. And we launched Looking FC, so his travel brand, 2 weeks ago, which we're very proud of. We have, immense conviction that this will become quite a big football travel brand, if not the biggest. So very exciting and very excited. And then a few more coming in the pipeline. So we have a total of about 25 clients at the moment that we've launched travel brands for: yoga teachers, meditation instructors, fitness studios, and then a few celebrities coming down the road this year.
That's amazing. And you're talking about, as you said, like big names in a short period of time, and I would say in a challenging time as well.
Yeah, I mean, short period of time is I mean, it's been 4 years. So, you know, when I think about it, it's like, man, it's been 4 years. It's been, you know, 14, 15-hour days. And by the way, like, when you hear that hard work is always a part of it, you always have to work hard, you always have to work, you know, I was like, before I didn't understand it, and now I just realized it's actually just by default. There's no
other option.
way around it. Yeah, exactly. But it's not because you work hard that you succeed. It's just by design. At some point, at some point when things take off, it's just what needs to be done if you want to get to where you want to be. So yeah, I mean, look, it's been 4 years. I would say that, you know, like Eric, for example, was about 6 months of back and forth with him and his team.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as or as fast as it seems. At least doesn't feel like it. But I guess once you have the momentum, then the second becomes easier, the third becomes easier, the fourth, the fifth, and so on.
100%. Thank you so much, Sharaf, for sharing your journey with us, and especially for being super transparent about your experience. It's really, really beneficial for other entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, Sharaf, and best of luck in your company.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Thank you. بعد الفاصل خليكم معنا بالحديث أكثر عن ضريبة الشركات. رح يكون معنا الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة أغسطس للإعلام ريتشارد فيتزجيرالد. خليكم معنا ولا تروحوا لبعيد.